Hey everyone, my name is Wedge. Today we have a bunch of new spoilers for you. One of these may be my favorite card spoiled thus far. Banishing Light, what is 3 mana for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Banishing Light leaves the battlefield. Boom! I no longer have to worry about something replacing Detention Sphere after rotation. Sure, there's a ton of enchantment removal running around, but the sphere seems to be doing just fine. Oblivion Ring was standard playable for years, and there's no reason to think Banishing Light won't perform just as well, since, it's the same exact card as Oblivion Ring. As a control player, I love seeing cards like this. After Detention Sphere rotates, this will see play in a ton of control decks. Until then, any control deck running white and not blue will run this. There's no real reason not to. Okay, there are so many reasons this next card is just ridiculous. Deicide is 2 mana for an instant. Exile target enchantment. If the exiled card is a god card, search its controller's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that card and exile them. On the outside, I'm keeping my cool. On the inside, I'm imagining the 856 different ways I'm going to embarrass mono blue devotion players as I destroy Thassa over and over and over again. It's like all my dreams coming true at once. First, gods are just bad if you run this. Second, you get to search their hand and library. You see their whole strategy for free. I would have been fine with instant speed revoke existence. I really would have. This is just, there aren't enough words to explain how amazing this card is for standard as sideboard tech. Also, can we talk about this art real quick? Warning, spoilers. I'll let you guys figure it out, but look at the art, then the flavor text. Let that just sink in. Yeah, I know, shaking in my booties. Next up is a card that made me want to vomit as soon as I saw the art. So, nausea warning. That said, Brain Maggot is 2 mana for a 1/1 enchantment creature insect. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals his or her hand and you choose a non-land card from it. Exile that card until Brain Maggot leaves the battlefield. The last time I saw this ability on a creature and was equally disgusted was with Mesmeric Fiend. Because black needed more disruption, this could go in against any controller mid-range strategy that has to use a real spell to kill the insect. For instance, if you play this against blue-white control and you exile their Supreme Verdict, they get all sad and will probably have to Detention Sphere, Last Breath, or Azorius Charm the rest of your board. Any of those are hilarious considering they're going through so much trouble to make up for what you did with a 1/1. We finally finish our Dictate cycle with Dictate of Erebos. 3 colorless and 2 black for an enchantment with flash. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent sacrifices a creature. So, Grave Pack is a thing in Commander, a big thing, a $10 thing. Dictate of Erebos is 1 mana more for an instant speed version of it. That's awesome. I'd love to see it in Standard, but the aggressive decks that would need to run this won't get much value since by turn 5 all your creatures are about to die to a control deck that runs no creatures, or you're against an aggro deck that's probably out aggroing you since they had an additional 2 or 3 drop instead of this 5 mana defensive spell. Don't get me wrong, I love this card. I just think it was meant for Commander. Also, that art is the bomb. Imagine that in foil. Nice! Renowned Weaver is 1 green mana for a 1/1 human shaman. You can pay 2 mana and sacrifice her to put a 1/3 green spider enchantment creature token with reach onto the battlefield. First thing, this is Arachne. It's pretty cool. Second, the ability is okay. It's a bit mana intensive overall, but you do get a constellation trigger and a creature with reach. If you build the right kind of deck around it, it could be decent. I don't think it'll see standard play, but the flavor is sweet and it could be a late pickup for a limited deck. Strength from the Fallen is 2 mana for an enchantment with Constellation. Whenever it or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Okay, so it's obvious they're pushing a black-green dredge Constellation thing. Strength is a good card. The ability is powerful and provides a lot of value in combat as long as you keep the creature count in your graveyard high. To do this, you're going to need to run pretty much every dredge card there is. Satyr Wayfinder, Commune with the Gods, Grizzly Salvage, you gotta run all of it. I know a lot of you want to run Pharika, so if you decide to put her in, you need to win the game really early since you will not be able to fill your graveyard fast enough to keep your Constellation trigger going forever. Even if you manage to get a bunch of creatures in there, the trigger is pretty mana intensive and super vulnerable to any kind of disruption. Take this into account when trying to build this strategy. Keep your mana curve insanely low and be aggressive all the time ever, because there really isn't anything else for you to do. If you want to run Strength from the Fallen in a dredge deck without Pharika, you can do that too. Night Howler, Herald the Torment, there are plenty of options for you. You can run a mid-range strategy with a bunch of dredge cards, the creatures mentioned before, Lotleth Troll, Nemesis Immortals, Shadowborn Demon, Whip of Erebos. The list is really long for cards that want to fit in here. Even things like Krufix's Insight, Reaper of the Wilds, and Boon Satyr can be really cheeky. Just keep in mind, if you want to be super aggressive, run the Pharika version of the deck. If you want to be a bit slower and more consistent, the mid-range version without her is for you. The last card we're going to look at today is another dredge card, Nyx Weaver. 1 colorless, 1 black, and 1 green for a 2/3 enchantment creature spider with reach. At the beginning of your upkeep, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. You can pay 3 to exile the spider and return target card from your graveyard to your hand. I like this card. Milling 2 cards per turn is really good for you as it helps to get your graveyard engine going faster. Also, a 2/3 with reach can stem early attackers. The only problem I have with this is, what would you take out of the currently existing dredge deck? There are so many cards that want in. I just have no idea where I'd put it in any build. I'd love to play it, but we'll have to see how the dredge decks shape up in the coming months. Journey into Nyx is just plain bonkers. We keep getting crazy cards with crazy abilities and awesome flavor. It's obvious Wizards really cares about this set. I know I'm excited. We saw a couple interesting new dredge cards today. Any of you black-green players considering using either of them? For those of you who play Control, have you thrown a party for Banishing Light yet? You should. It's the bomb. Totally not biased. Anyways, remember to subscribe below for the latest and most reliable Journey into Nyx spoiler information you could ever need. This is the Mana Source. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.